When people ask you, like, who are you? I say I'm Aliyah Boston, I play basketball. Like, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. And so it's almost like we have to figure out who we are outside of what we do on a daily basis to understand that there's more to us than just our sport.
Basketball might be what she does, but that's not who Aliyah Boston is. She's so much more than that. Welcome to Before the Accolades, brought to you by Versace Boy ENT, with your host, the Big Potato. Aliyah Boston, born December 11, 2001, in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Goodbye to things that bore me. Joy is waiting for me. I see a new horizon. My life has only begun. Beyond the blue horizon shines
the American paradise, the United States Virgin Islands.
Like your boy the Big Potato and Tim Duncan, except we were born in St. Croix. Aaliyah was born in
St.Thomas, Virgin Islands. Look, I'll even show you. It's right here. Right there, super tiny, but like, eh.
And just like so many of us who come or are born in the Virgin Islands, or whose family and heritage is from there, the Virgin Islands is deeply rooted and is also a big motivator for Aliyah Boston.
St. Thomas has impacted me. Being from there has impacted me in a great way because the island is super small. You just have a strong support system. Like everyone in the islands, they cheer us on. When we were playing in the NCAA tournament,
Aliyah first fell in love with the game of basketball at the age of 9 years old when she was watching her older sister Alexis play.
This is outside courts.
I love it.
The heat used to be booming. Okay? You gotta sweat in by walking up the hill.
Without many options for leagues on the island, Aaliyah was often the only girl on the team.
In her youth basketball days, while playing in St. Thomas, Aaliyah would actually score 50 all of her team's points in one youth game. She was a very dominant presence in the Virgin Islands, and her and her family were taking basketball seriously. So in the summer of 2014, Aliyah Boston and her sister Alexis Boston were sent to Massachusetts to go stay with their aunt for a little bit that summer so that they can attend a basketball camp there. After attending that camp and seeing the exposure that was possible outside of the Virgin Islands, the Boston family had to make a tough choice to allow Aaliyah and her sister Alexis to stay with their aunt for the remainder of their middle school and high school education.
You play the same teams over and over and over. So everybody know what the next person is going to do. So your ability to play competition outside of that circle is non-existent. She needed an opportunity to see who she could become.
For high school, Aliyah Boston would attend Worcester Academy in Worcester, Massachusetts. And knowing the sacrifices her family had to make for her, she wasn't finna waste her chance.
Becoming a 3-time Gatorade Player of the Year in Massachusetts.
She also would leave Worcester Academy as their all-time leading scorer in women's basketball, lead Worcester Academy to 2 high school basketball state championships, as well as being named a McDonald's All-American in her senior season, and would leave high school ranked the 3rd overall prospect in the ESPN 2019 recruiting class. Oh, but let's not forget, she also got the chance to win a U17 FIBA gold medal. Aaliyah was already that girl before she even went to college, and in 2019 commit to the University of South Carolina.
My mom gave us, my sister and I, these signs for our room, and so work hard in silence, let your success make the noise. I live by that though, because there's no point of trying to gloat and all that.
Aaliyah would make her presence felt at South Carolina from game 1. In her first ever college game, Aliyah Boston recorded a triple-double against Alabama State.
My style of play is definitely just being physical. I'm a shot blocker, rebounder, and I finish well inside the paint.
So she was making a statement that she was one of them ones. She's gonna be a great. And it was also at South Carolina when Aliyah Boston found out who she is even more, and she began her tradition.
Why do you always have colorful hair braids somehow?
You know, when people see you, sometimes you're like, oh, you're just so tall. But now it's like, whoa, look at the hair, orange hair, whoa. So it's like, whoa, that's what they're going to see. They're going to see a pop, a color. And so that's what I go for.
Her freshman year of college, Aaliyah averaged 12.5 points per game and 9.4 rebounds per game. She helped lead South Carolina to a record of 31-2, won the SEC Freshman of the Year award,
Freshman of the Year awards.
and SEC Defensive Player of the Year award, and finishing the regular season as the #1 ranked team in the nation. Unfortunately for South Carolina, there was no March Madness tournament that year due to COVID, and then Aaliyah came back her sophomore year, and she was even more of a problem. Her sophomore season, she averaged 13.7 points per game, 11 rebounds per game, would be named first team All-American and the National Player of the Year. Unfortunately, South Carolina would lose to Stanford in the Final Four. Aaliyah would actually miss what would have been the game-winning layup, but you gotta go through the tough times to enjoy your breakthroughs and your successes.
Of our rings that they gave us.
As a junior, she averaged 16.8 points per game, 12.5 rebounds per game. That season, she would break the South Carolina record for most consecutive double-doubles in a season.
Look at me go.
Aaliyah would also be named first team All-American again, win National Player of the Year again, Nation Defensive Player of the Year, and she would do what she set out to do, lead South Carolina to their second ever NCAA March Madness Championship, and she was named Most Outstanding Player of the tournament.
Candace Parker, I'd like to say hi. I love you, girl.
That's one of the greatest seasons in NCAA women's history. And at the time of this recording, while her senior season is going on, Aliyah Boston has led South Carolina to an undefeated regular season record. She's in contention with Caitlin Clark for National Player of the Year. She's also on pace to be either the first or second overall pick in the 2023 WNBA draft. Aliyah's future is a bright one, man. I can't wait to see how it plays out, because just speaking from the Virgin Islands perspective, I know she got the chance to be the female Tim Duncan, essentially. Hit that like, subscribe button for me, please. I had to highlight a female athlete this month. It's March, Women's History Month, if you didn't know that. Let me know who you want to see on the next Before the Accolades, brought to you by Versace Boy ENT. BP out.